Hi you guys, I am so excited to film this video today. It's been a long time coming. You know, we all deal with negative, toxic energy, people, places, circumstances in our life. And I really wanted to dedicate today's video to chatting about how to let go of negative relationships or negative circumstances in your life in a loving way. Oftentimes when we're in a situation that brings up a lot of negativity, a lot of vulnerability, a lot of just really ill feelings, we have a tendency to either lash out, get in an argument, say things that we regret, and then just create this hole of just not good feelings. So I wanted to share with you how to deal with negative and toxic people in a loving way. It's super possible, and we all need to have these tools in our back pocket, because every now and again, whether it's our family, whether it's, our siblings, whether it's friends, whether it's total strangers, we're gonna come across some negativity, whether it's huge, whether it's small. It's really powerful to know how to deal with it. And that's why I thought this video in particular would be super powerful, and it's definitely something I've experienced a lot in my life, and I've picked up a lot of tools that I wanted to share with you. So I hope you really enjoy this video, and let's get started. Number one, it's the easiest, simplest thing, but the most challenging to recognize and be aware of when we're being attacked or we're feeling vulnerable. And that is recognizing that it is not about you. That anything and everything somebody else is bringing towards us, whether it's harmful and spiteful and hurtful words, whether it's anger, frustration, physical, whatever it is, they're harboring resentments and feelings within their own bodies. Whatever it is somebody is offering you is a reflection of what it is they're holding and how it is they're abusing themselves on an internal level. It's really easy when we experience negative energy, especially when somebody's calling us names, tearing us down, making us feel really terrible about ourselves, to take it personally, to inquire into whether what they're saying is true. And that is a rabbit hole that I don't want you to go down. We've all been down it a million times, and it gets us nowhere. It just degrades us, it makes us feel less than, it actually ends up sabotaging all the progress we've made. So don't give that person that power over you. Recognize and have the courage to recognize that what they're experiencing in their life and what it is they're sharing with you is in fact what it is they feel about themselves. People are a mirror reflection of what it is we see within ourselves. So when someone's offering you something negative, it's simply because it's a mirror reflection of what it is they're feeling on the inside. That brings us to number two, understanding. Understanding that people can only offer us what they are capable of giving themselves. And if that's not capable of very much, they're not going to offer you very much. So understanding where it is they're coming from, and maybe where these harmful feelings and emotions, practicing non-attachment to them. When we get attached to things, that's when we are vulnerable to them really affecting our emotions. If somebody calls you a name and you attach onto that name and you start bringing it and taking it personally and taking it on, you're taking on that energetic alignment and you're allowing it to latch onto you. When we can have understanding and compassion for where people are at in their lives and recognize, like we talked about in number one, that that's what they're experiencing on an internal level, when we can have understanding for that, we can practice non-attachment to what it is they are sharing with us. We can see it for what it is, which is them having an experience where they're projecting and it has nothing to do with us. So practicing that non-attachment and affirming your value. Whenever I have anyone come towards me with spite or negativity or just doesn't feel good, I simply understand that it has nothing to do with me. And that's why number 2 is all about understanding. Understand it has nothing to do with you. Practice that non-attachment and begin affirming all of the positive qualities, characteristics, and good things within yourself. It's really challenging in times where people are projecting really negative and toxic energy onto you to not take it personally. But by being able to recognize that you can either let those feelings attach onto you, or you can let them bounce off of you and begin reaffirming your goodness, your happiness, your value you have, you can turn a negative situation into a positive situation by simply not letting it attach and continuing to affirm your value, continuing to bring yourself up rather than allow this negative and toxic energy to drag you down. Number 3 is maybe the most important one, and that is take responsibility. Rarely, when something's icky's happening, do we want to take responsibility for our own feelings. It's a lot easier to be a victim to this negative, toxic experience than it is to take responsibility for our own emotions, to take responsibility of perpetuating the story of being a victim in our lives. So if you really, really want to get rid of negative and toxic energy in your life with love, you have to take responsibility for your feelings. You have to take responsibility for your emotions. When something negative happens to us, what do? We call someone, we, go tell a million people, everyone we talk to, our family, whatever. We perpetuate the story. We perpetuate the exact experience, how it happened, and we repeat it to a million different people in our life. What we fail to recognize is by doing that, we're continuing to replay that story. So we're continuing to experience it over and over and over again. So not only have we experienced it once, and it was bad enough when we experienced it once, but we're allowing that negative and toxic human being we're allowing ourselves to be a victim to them and repeat the story and share it and keep reliving it. If you really want to get rid of negative and toxic energy in your life, you have to stop repeating the story. We can only stop repeating the story when we are not a victim and we take responsibility for our emotions. So for me, I had something really just hurtful come up a few weeks ago, and it really, really hurt. It hurt my feelings. I felt bad about it. I went through this process that I'm sharing with you. I recognized it wasn't about me, and I had to take responsibility for not repeating the story and not replaying it. So instead of going and sharing it to a million different people and saying, yeah, this person did this to me, how crappy is that? Yeah, she did it and she said this and they said this and it was so bad. And being a victim and getting attention and reliving it, I had to begin taking responsibility by saying, no, this isn't a part of my experience anymore. To fully let go of anything in our life, we have to consciously make an effort to do so. That means whenever those thoughts come up in our mind, whenever that argument or that fight or that just hurtful experience that happened with that toxic person comes up in your mind, it's your responsibility to let go of it, to consciously make an effort to not replay it, not be a victim to it anymore, and take your power back. So whenever you have something that's harmful that happens, move on from it completely by being able to consciously let go whenever you begin repeating that cycle, repeating that negativity, repeating that toxicity in your life. Whatever that person told you and it's replaying in your mind, man, I'm really stupid. I'm really stupid. They told me I'm stupid. It's making me feel stupid. I'm pretty stupid. You're replaying. You're being victim. You're allowing it to cycle and story and create a shift in your experience. Shift out of that by whenever it comes into play, replacing it with an affirmation or replacing the argument with a happy thought. I had that exchange that hurt. It hurt my feelings. It was, not the best confrontation. And I had to begin letting go of it by replacing it with things that made me happy. So instead of whenever that would come into my experience and I would think about that argument, I would think about that confrontation, I would replace it immediately with something that felt good. Playing with my nieces, seeing Jake, something that was exciting, something I was looking forward to. We take responsibility, that's when we get our power back. And that's what number 3 is about. Taking your responsibility and allowing yourself to not fall victim to what just happened, but create and write a new story, one that feels better and more aligned with where it is you're going in your life. Number 4 is all about setting healthy boundaries. When we're experiencing abuse in our life, whether it's in a relationship, it's in a personal relationship or a friendship or a relationship with a stranger or at school, whatever it is, we need to set boundaries, especially if this certain relationship continues abusing you time and time and time again. Setting healthy boundaries is not something to be ashamed of. It's a way of respecting who it is you are and the direction you're headed. You know, we're all sent here to do amazing things in our life. And we can only step into our power when we have courage. And we can have courage when we have confidence. When somebody's dragging you down and tearing you down, they're also debilitating and maybe affecting your confidence. And experiencing that time and time again is not going to aid you and help you in becoming the beautiful extension of God energy you were sent here to become. So it is your duty and your honor to be able to set healthy boundaries with people who are affecting you in a negative way. There's nothing to be ashamed of there, even if they're close relationships. If they're your boyfriend or your girlfriend or a close family member, it's okay to set healthy boundaries. Jake said it in his videos. Don't go as often and don't stay as long. Setting healthy boundaries keeps you from, and just knowing where your limits are in a conversation allows you to respect who it is you are and what it is you're stepping into. You want to nourish and nurture all of the best qualities and characteristics about you. When you're constantly being bombarded with a relationship that is just tearing at and eating at you, it's not going to promote your growth and your well-being. So setting boundaries with, not spending as much time with the person, or maybe it means stepping away from the relationship for a while, or maybe it means just, creating that space. That's going to give you the opportunity and the relationship and the other person to be able to step back and say, okay, maybe I need to show up in a different way. I really want to make this work, so it needs to be more healthy. It's a way of respecting yourself that actually empowers your worth, which allows you to obviously grow and just, amplify your vibration and your feeling. I really love a story that Oprah shares. It's actually a quote. I think I saw a clip actually. Jake sent it to me. And it was a clip of Oprah saying, the time that I was really able to up-level my life is when I started letting go of negative and toxic people in my life. When you want to do anything of extreme value and purpose, and you have huge dreams and vision for yourselves, it takes courage. It takes the ability to step into it and support. Having support, having stability, having people encouraging and loving you is the way of promoting your best self. It's the way of wringing out all of the greatest qualities and characteristics of you and being able to share with the world in your just most highest capacity. When you can start letting go of negative and toxic people, it's not something to be ashamed of, but simply something to be aware of and acknowledge that you're not doing it out of disrespect, but you're doing it out of respect for growing into the human being that you're meant to become. I really loved how Oprah had shared that because, she's such a big figure in our culture, in our lives, and she's had to let go. And that's a part of the process of just being able to move through your life, being able to up-level and just have courage to step into bigger and bigger spaces. Sometimes that means letting go of that toxic, negativity of somebody trying to tell you negative things about yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed of there, and I wanted to be the first one to tell you that. So let's head to number 5, the last but not least way of just kind of getting rid of that toxic and negative energy with love. Number 5 is have love for yourself and have love for the other person. It's super easy when we get in arguments, conflicts, there's negative things that happen and experiences to harbor resentments, to step away and be angry at that person. It takes responsibility and a bigger person to just be like, hey, this is what it is right now, and maybe it's not ideal, but it's okay. This relationship, this negative person in my life, it's not ideal for me right now, but I don't harbor any resentment towards them. I have compassion for them, I have compassion for myself, and that's why the healthiest thing for me right now is to just step away and take a few breaths. Give love to yourself, but also have love for them as well. Because every single negative circumstance that comes into our life is an opportunity to grow into something bigger, something better. So in reality, these negative, toxic people that are showing up, they're not anyone to be angry at. You know, maybe you're angry at what they said or what they did, you know, but they're offering you an opportunity to hold compassion, hold empathy for not only yourself, but for them. To step into your love, into your appreciation and your worth and your value of yourself, and be able to show and have somebody else acknowledge it within you. You're also, you know, bringing into their experience maybe areas of themselves that they need to work on. So being able to have love for yourself, remain neutral, non-attached to just carrying that ill will forward, just leaving it where it was. You know, it happened then, I'm not repeating the story like we talked about in number 3, and I'm just in a neutral position. I have love for myself. I still have love for that person. I understand that not everyone has the greatest days, and you know, maybe that was a moment for them. I'm not going to hold it against them or carry it forward. When we want to experience a life fueled by love, we must practice unconditional love. And setting space and setting boundaries is sometimes a way of doing that, but also doing it with peace and with grace. So in conclusion, negative and toxic people in your life are an opportunity. They're a really incredible opportunity and experience for you to be able to set into practice having more worth for yourself, more love for yourself, and more unconditional love for what's around you. Your greatest teachers in life are oftentimes the one that's present the most challenge. It gives you a real huge opportunity to step back and look at your behavior, how your inner dialogue's working. Are you being victimized? Are you getting angry? Are you getting resentful? Are you holding emotions? What is the experience bringing out within you? Be the observer of that experience. Be the observer of that experience and practice these 5 things I just shared with you, and I promise you, the negative and toxic relationship in your life will either switch and grow and flourish, or it will fall away and you will be more empowered for that. So I really hope that this video helped you and it encourages you to take a deeper look at maybe some of the negative and toxic energy in your life. They're not bad. It's an opportunity, and I really hope you take advantage of it, because this lifetime is about growing and healing and moving through and unconditionally loving. So I hope that this video helped you do that. My name is Ashley Ducey with ashleyducey.com. If you have any questions about how to deal with negative and toxic people, please comment them below. I'd be more than happy to answer, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys. Thanks so much for watching my video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, press that bell notification to be notified every single time I post a video. My name is Ashley Ducey with ashleyducey.com, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.